Thank you for tuning into our channel. Please do well to subscribe. Click on the notification button to get new video as it drops. Of course, today we're bringing to you another interesting top 10. It's going to be top 10 richest gangsters in the world. Are you ready? Then let's go. Have you subscribed? Please do well to subscribe. When you think about the richest gangsters, racketeers or drug lords, the first thought that comes to your mind is probably bloodshed, firearms, quick money, and rich lifestyle. Such people make a lot of money, and it often lacks legitimacy and are associated with criminal activities. So, who is the richest gangster in the world? While some notable gangsters are still in the world, others have gone. Nevertheless, we cannot forget the atrocities they committed so soon. Well, we're going to be serving you top 10 richest gangsters in the world. The world has witnessed several gangsters with several atrocious activities, although most of them made so much from drug trafficking, financial scams, and human trafficking. Among others, they had miserable ends. So let's check out the richest of the gangsters in the world. At number 10 is Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas was born in 1930. He was raised in North Carolina before moving to Harlem, New York between 1960 and 1970. The trading of heroin was the order of the day. Lucas's trading style was very distinct in terms of production. He would get heroin directly from the opium king Kahun Sa in Vietnam and hide it in coffins, after which he would transport them by air from Vietnam to the United States. He was reportedly making $1 million per day at the top of his business and had about $52 million hidden in the Cayman Islands. Lucas and his wife Juliana Farright were convicted on several occasions for breaking both the federal and New Jersey state drug laws. Before Lucas's death, he had an accident that confined him to a wheelchair, and on the 30th of May 2019, he died. Next is Jose Figuera Agusto. Jose Figuera Agosto is at number 9. He's a drug lord who rose to greater ranks after killing a driver believed to have stolen cocaine meant to be transported. The Puerto Rican drug lord got convicted and was sentenced to 200 years behind bars. Unfortunately, he was able to forge an order of release and he left prison. His organization controlled about 90% of the drugs smuggled to Puerto Rico from the Dominican Republic at its peak. His net worth is estimated at $100 million. He's still alive and currently free after serving a 10-year sentence. At number 8 is Yagannathan, aka Teddy Mafia, one of the most notorious gangsters in the world. Teddy Mafia, as he was popularly called, is believed by some to be a drug dealer. He's from the city of Chatsworth, KwaZulu-Natal. In April of 2020, Teddy Mafia was found with illegal firearms and ammunition. Teddy Mafia's net worth remains unknown, but items such as money, gold, and silver worth more than 1 million rand were found with him during his arrest. Although Teddy Mafia was never at any point in time convicted of any drug offenses, he was shot dead on the 4th of January 2021. A diamond-encrusted coffin worth 300,000 rand was used for his burial. The two persons who were believed to be responsible for his death were beheaded and burnt to death by an angry mob. Making it to the top 10 richest gangsters in the world at number 7 is Anthony, aka Fat Tony Salerno. Fat Tony, as he was fondly known as a result of his size, ranks as one of the greatest mob bosses in the city of New York. He was the leader of the Ivy League crime family. At the early stage of his life, he began amassing wealth from activities such as loan sharking, racket protection, and gambling. Anthony Fat Tony Salerno's net worth was about $1 billion. Fortune magazine ranked Fat Tony at the number 1 spot in their list of 50 biggest mafia bosses. In 1988, he was sentenced to 70 years behind bars for his involvement in racketeering. He died in 1992 of a stroke at the Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Missouri, USA. Albert Francis Al Capone is at the number 6 spot of the top 10 richest gangsters in the world. He was born in the city of Brooklyn, New York in 1899. During his early days, he moved with the James Street Boys gang. He met Johnny Torrio, who became his mentor. They both journeyed to Chicago, where he assisted in running Johnny's bootlegging enterprise in Chicago between 1925 and 1931. Al Capone was fondly called the greatest mob boss. He was in charge of gambling, rackets, prostitution, and illegal alcohol in Chicago. Today, Albert Francis Capone's net worth would be about $1.5 billion due to inflation. Al Capone was imprisoned in 1931 for tax evasion. In 1947, he died of a heart attack while in prison after serving 8 years out of his 11-year sentence. At the number 5 spot is Griselda Blanco, one of the known gangsters of the world. Griselda was best known as the Black Widow or cocaine godmother and was the most popular female drug lord and gangster the world has ever seen. She worked for the popular drug lord Pablo Escobar in Colombia. She took care of most of the killings that were needed at that time. There are several claims that Griselda's net worth when she was at the greatest point in her criminal activities was about $2 billion. Nevertheless, in 2012, the female drug lord was shot in Medellin after spending 10 years in prison for drug charges. At number 4 is Joachim El Chapo Guzman. El Chapo, the Sinaloa cartel leader in Mexico, was responsible for smuggling drugs such as cocaine, marijuana, and heroin that was worth several billions of dollars into America. It was believed that he smuggled the largest amount of drugs in America and the continent of Europe. He was widely known as the godfather of the drug world. El Chapo is the world's most powerful drug trafficker. He was so wealthy that he was included in the Forbes 2010 list of the 1,000 richest people worldwide and the 60 most influential people of the world. El Chapo's net worth was well over $3 billion. In 1993, El Chapo was put behind bars but escaped from prison in 2001. Now, he's serving a long term in a prison in the US after being extradited from Mexico. At the number 3 spot is Semionmogilevich, one of the worst gangsters in the world. Semyon, a graduate of economics, is referred to as the supreme leader who controls all the bosses of the Russian Mafia. Semyon has been involved in numerous financial crimes ranging from contract killings, money laundering, wire fraud, and even drug trafficking. He's a very dangerous man with a huge criminal empire that stretches to virtually all the corners of the world. Semionmogilevich's net worth is estimated at $10 billion. Currently lives freely in Moscow with his 3 children. Okay, we're gradually getting down to the end of the top 10 richest gangsters in the world. At the number 2 spot is Armando Carrillo Fuentes Armando. The second richest drug lord in the world is Armando Fuentes. The Mexican drug lord was the leader of the Juarez cartel. The largest number of aircraft he possessed earned him the nickname El Señor de los Cielos, the Lord of the Skies, which were used for transporting cocaine. Fuentes' net worth is estimated to be about $25 billion. Unfortunately, the Lord of the Skies' life ended after attempting to change his appearance in a surgery on the 4th of July 1997. And at the number 1 spot is Pablo Escobar. Escobar was in charge of the Medellin cartel, the organization responsible for smuggling large quantities of cocaine into America. With his wealth, he could get his way by bribing government officials or assassinating them if they refused to bend to his will. Escobar was so rich that he offered to pay off Colombia's national debt of about $10 billion. Forbes magazine named Escobar as the 7th richest man on the planet for 7 straight years in a row. Pablo Escobar's net worth was about $30 billion. He was shot in 1993 through a combined effort of the American and Colombian forces after he escaped from prison. So we're done with the top 10 richest gangsters in the world. Most of the richest gangsters we have discussed carried out their criminal activities for a long time without being noticed. They bought their way through law enforcement agencies and government officials, and on other occasions they killed rival gangs that threatened their authority. Nevertheless, most of them met a gruesome end, or they are in prison or are dead. The long and short is, crime doesn't pay. Thank you for listening. Please do well to subscribe to our channel. Click on the subscription button so that you can get notification whenever it drops. Bye!